Imposter syndrome. I think that a lot of us have gone through this before. Imposter syndrome is when we don't think that our skills actually match what they should be. Kind of wondering if we slipped through the cracks, if we're not supposed to be doing what we should, if we don't actually warrant our title or job or position or schooling. Ask yourself these questions. Do you agonize over every little tiny mistake that you make? Do you think through the things that happened in the day? Do you care what every person says about you, even if it's the smallest thing? Are you sensitive when someone criticizes or asks you questions about your work? Do you worry that people are gonna find out and realize that you actually shouldn't be in the position that you are? Or do you find yourself playing down your position or the role that you took or the things that you did in front of others so that you're the one that knocks it down, not someone else? There's 3 main parenting types that can cause people to worry more about being an imposter. One would be really controlling parents. These are parents that make us feel like we're not good enough, that we don't have the skills to be able to handle things. Overprotective parents. These are parents that make us feel like the world is a really dangerous place or that we don't have the skills to be able to handle this dangerous place. And then the third one would be parents that are very critical, that are constantly giving us critiques or saying that things aren't good enough or pointing out, even for the good, the errors in our ways. And then there's your own personality type yourself. So people that are more type A, that really care about doing a good job, that worry more, they have more of an inclination to feel like maybe they're not good enough for their job, because in order to be good enough for our job, we have to know everything right away. We're aiming to be perfect. And then there's the critical negative voice. If you have a really strong negative voice, you're criticizing everything that you do. And if you're criticizing everything you do, it mustn't be good enough. And then there's social anxiety. That's the fear of judgment from others, because we're so worried. It's so painful to hear these critiques that we'll often put ourselves down first so that we're the first ones throwing the stone, and it doesn't hurt as much when someone else does it. Do you find that a lot of your self-esteem is placed in what you do, in the things that you put forward? That means that it's extrinsic self-esteem. It's not coming from inside of you and who you are and your character. It's linked to your title, your job, your achievements. But because of that, you're only as good as your last job or your best title or what those achievements are. And because of that, you're constantly having to produce more and more things so that you still feel good about you. What ends up happening, though, if you're dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome, is that you may choose not to pick jobs that would be up to your level. You may also not choose to be able to do as much as you could because perhaps because of that fear of failure, you're just not going to try it because it's so painful to fail. Imposter syndrome also flavors who we see ourselves as. Because we don't see that we deserve this role, then we're going to be aiming low, because then if we aim low enough, then at least that job we may feel like we live up to and feel comfortable. It can also cause a lot of anxiety. We're spending all this time worrying and cycling through the day and trying to be perfect that it can build up that feeling of fight or flight inside of who we are. And that anxiety can start off in being only in a certain situation, but slowly can generalize where we always just feel kind of anxious. And then if we start to shut down or things become too overwhelming, yes, we can start to feel depressed. Now, it might just be situational depression that is linked to a certain location or job, but that depression will then feed into that cycle of proof. Oh, you see, we're not that motivated. That's because we really are an imposter. And because we are an imposter, we're even less motivated, which then feeds into the depression. And you can end up in this downward spiral. Plus, let's just say it, the amount of time that you can spend to try to be better, to be fitting, to be good enough is exhausting, and it uses up your time in the day, time that you could be doing other things with or just relaxing. Now, what do you do with all this? Well, one is that you want to be able to properly assess your own skills and know that whenever you do something new, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's normal and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be able to be good at what you do. And no one is. No one. Also, you should acknowledge all of your achievements, the things that you've done well in the day, and why you did them well. Not the things that you did amazing on, but the things that were good and you were able to move on to something else. Because you care so much, you're going to be actually better than many people that don't care about their job and that are just getting by. And that personality trait, those of us that care so much, we really are a godsend to any job that we go into. So if you are dealing with imposter syndrome yourself or have moments of it, stop, take a breath, and let yourself know that you're just going to keep at it. And as long as you keep at it, you're going to get better at it. You don't have to be perfect for the position. And please don't compare yourself. Often we're spending our time comparing ourselves to people online or on Instagram, or the person that's been there for 10 years, or the person that has a natural talent at something. And that's not fair. You want to compare yourself to you. And remember that as long as you keep at it, you'll get better at it. And if you want to learn more about psychology and be able to do your own work to be able to live the best life that you can live, you can check out our video series that my colleague Sandra Ritchie and I have created. We wanted something to be able to reach more people and be able to give that psychoeducation and what would happen inside of one of our sessions. We go about differences in treating anxiety, depression, sleep, parenting, negative self-talk, boundaries, and consequences. These are skills that really we should have all learned in school. Here we bring them, and they're kind of packaged so that you can choose the ones that suit you best. In the video on sleep, we really go through all of the different reasons that sleep is so important. It seems like it's the first thing that we will knock off of our list when we become stressed or there isn't enough time in our day. But the problem is that without sleep, we're not in our best, which makes the next day so much more difficult. We go through, one, how to be able to sleep train yourself so that not only do you get better sleep, but you can fall asleep faster without those cycling thoughts or worry or that stress, so that sleep becomes a place of peace. And having all of these tools and knowledge at your fingertips makes that so much easier. And though this is not a replacement for therapy, this is a wonderful set of supplemental tools and knowledge to be able to help you live the best life, the life that you deserve to live. And if you're interested in this, or you want to check out our catalog of other videos that we're doing, you can head on over to anxiety-videos.com and check out our entire catalog. And you can tell me what you think of them in the comments below. And if you like this video, you can hit subscribe. And if you want to support me to be able to make more videos, of course, you can check out my Patreon.